good evening and a warm welcome to you. Welcome to the Misfits Racing League. My name is Frostbreath and this is round 11 for Tier 2. Round 11 of 18 in fact here at the Austrian circuit. The name is of course Spielberg, right in the Styrian mountains. A beautiful country it is. And there you have it. Soon we will reach the 2/3 mark of Season 6. Hi Fiobar, welcome to the stream. It's very good to see you there in the chat. Already seen several other people there in the chat getting ready as well. We are still waiting for the lobby to fill up. There's some people still missing. Maybe some of them are having issues getting themselves into the beta build, because that's what we are in at the moment. We've received a special build where the desync should be fixed, and as we have seen yesterday, that does seem to be the case. Very little to no desync whatsoever. So the racing in Tier 3 was very good, and I am looking forward to see what will happen here in Tier 2. Having a little look then at the standings here tonight, we can see that Wisp has regained his comfortable lead over the man in second place, Yaya Senagoat, with a 58-point lead, which is pretty massive. Closely behind Senagoat is, of course, our Dutchman Remco van Putten with only 2 points difference. Then behind him is Big Turbina in the other Red Bull with 78 points. Then Polypunk completing the top 5. But man, are the gaps pretty sizable here compared to Tier 3 at least, where the fight at the top is very tight. Here it is Wisp pretty much ahead and with head and shoulders from the rest of the field. Senagoat still doing all he can to chase him down, but so far it hasn't been successful yet. Being the successful team that Red Bull is, we can also see them in a very nice lead in the Constructors title there with, well, let's be fair, it's about 80 points, over 80, it's 85 points in fact of a difference between Red Bull and Alpine, and that is massive, so to say. Of course, Williams also still somewhat in the fight, but they are 110 points behind Red Bull at the moment, with Senagoat and the new guy in the Williams car, Cutters, after Fraser has left us. Speaking of people leaving, we have a new driver in the Aston Martin car. As you can see, Leclerc is now missing from the top 10, and he has been replaced by Liuktra, who's showed us some pace here for this tier, so therefore he is now in the second Aston Martin. Of course, the points of Leclerc still remain for the Constructors title, so the team is still hanging around in P6, on equal ground with Alfa Romeo, and very narrowly avoiding Alpha Tauri's charge there with 50 points in P8. Mercedes is 10 points ahead of both Aston and Alfa with 64 hanging around in P5, and Haas is pretty far down in last place right now, so that team really needs to start scoring some points. Aro being the only Haas driver present tonight. We have some reserve drivers, not as many as last week, thankfully. We have so far Eruption in the second Aston Martin, as Daz is not present with us. We have Marco. I'm not entirely sure if he's already in the lobby, but he should be replacing Gerson in the second Haas. And then there is still some other drivers at least missing in this lobby just yet. I'm having a little look around to see who is still missing. I don't see the second Mercedes of Donny. He isn't in just yet. We have both Alpines in, both Alfa Romeos are in, both Red Bulls. What the hell? What on earth is going on? Okay, you probably didn't hear that, but for some reason people decided to talk in the lobby, but thankfully the volume of the desktop audio was still down, so that was a bit awkward. Got a bit confused there for a moment. I thought somebody joined the commentary booth, but thankfully that wasn't the case. So here we are then, ready to rumble. These are the standings. There's quite a few people with no points, but that's mostly because two of those guys are new here. Which is interesting though, that everybody from P12 downwards has less than 10 points. And the biggest surprise there, if I'm honest, is Kane, because I know he's got some big pace. He's also still missing in the lobby. He's been absent several races now, so I'm hoping he will join in time to to get ready. They are telling us to get ready in the lobby. There's 3 drivers missing at the moment. So we will start incomplete, so to say. But, you know, it's already 4 minutes past starting time, so we are gonna get going regardless of these drivers still missing. Kane is still missing, Donny is still missing, and Feral Dude just signed off, even though he's a reserve driver. So I'm a bit confused on that one. Either way, let's hope for some good racing. We saw a wet qualification yesterday in Tier 3 and a dry race, which led to some interesting results. We saw Hako not taking a back-to-back pole. It was in fact Freeware starting from pole position, but he got spun out and got himself involved into accidents several times, so he didn't win the race. It was actually Grenade Goran winning, and therefore them leading the Drivers' Championship after Austria. But enough about Tier 3, let's go and focus ourselves on Tier 2. This is where we stand. It's a dry qualification, that is for sure. Already we can see some drivers starting to pick the medium tires for their first stint to save up some of their soft tires. Dry qualification, dry race. Thank you, PW Jones, for your confirmation. Also, thank you for your compliment. Really appreciate that. So here we are then. A Red Bull is leaving the garage. Let's see which Red Bull that is. It isn't Big Turbina. It is actually our championship leader leading the way out of the pit lane onto the track as he goes out on his medium tires, getting ready for a hot lap. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some very low 1-minute 3s, maybe even a 1-minute 2 here around this track, because it is a short and a very, very quick track. Racing here is always epic, always good. And I will, of course, change the screen. For some reason, I decided to completely forget to change the screen, and there you are. Thank you for reminding me, PW Jones. It's, for some reason, I somehow forget it at times, which is weird, but, you know, that's just me. We saw Axel there joining, and another reserve driver being called in and getting ready to drive around in one of the empty cars still hanging around in the pit lane. We can see some things going on here between Domi and some other cars as they are trying to find some space for themselves on track. It's elbows out here as it's quite busy at the moment with all of these cars. There's an Aston Martin right behind him, and there's an Alpine who's going everywhere, and some other places. In fact, he's decided to just go ahead and cut the grass to let everybody pass. He doesn't want to be involved in all the messy situations going on there. So it's Remco just taking it easy, taking a bit of grass while he is taking that easy. So then, on to the championship leader. Out he is, and out he goes for a first attempt on a hot lap. He is now on his way on the medium tires as his first sector is a 16.0, which is pretty rapid. But of course, it is on the harder compound, which will not have much of a difference in the first sector, but definitely is going to make the difference here in Sector 2 and of course in Sector 3. And yes, Liutra is back. He is a permanent full-time driver now in the Aston Martin team, so that's good news for the cars in green there, as they need some points to keep in the fight there in the lower half of the constructors' battle. So let's see what Wisp can do then. With his healthy lead and his absolute beast performance in qualifying and race, he's been unstoppable for most of the season. We have a spin somewhere in turn 3 as Wisp now comes in, sets the fastest lap there, and it's Eruption having spun out in turn 3. Gian going faster, of course, on the soft tires. Polypunk slotting in right behind him, followed up by Psycho coming in second. Crampy then coming in home in P2. Let's see that what Domi can do also on the medium tires. Is he able to get anywhere near the other medium drivers? It's interesting to see that Wisp so far on this medium. Oh, we see an AlphaTauri on the grass there. Which AlphaTauri? It's actually Ludek, which is... oh my goodness precious, he's got some very slippery tires going on there. That's the definite definition of slicks under his car. Absolutely no grip for some reason for this man. This is Luda, by the way. He's changed to his... well, I'm not sure if this is his real name, but it's definitely a full name, that's for sure. Ludek, so that's what I will be calling him from now on. Of course, Remco coming in a very slow lap time for some reason there. Immediately going for another try, already pretty much in the track limits. Let's follow him around a little bit. The man third in the driver standings. He's only 2 points behind Sanogoat at 99 points. The first sector already 4 seconds faster than his previous attempt, so he's been taking it very easy, looking very clean. A bit of an oversteering moment. They are immediately going to the inside to take the shortest route possible after turn 3, so let's see how he can do into turn 4. Needs to be nice and tidy there, and it looks like he's able to successfully go nice and tidy. Another reserve driver joining in, Wildy now, also coming into the lobby alongside Axel, who's taken the second Haas at the moment. So that means there's a Mercedes and a Ferrari remaining to choose from for Wildy. Alexander now going fast with a medium tire. Look at that, a 3.6. And Remco, having invalidated his attempt here, is now going to come back into the pit lane. So that's pretty much his first attempt. Somewhat ruined, an improper banker lap resulting in only somewhat lost places. Eruption goes even slower there, also taking it very easy. The only remaining Haas who can score points, Aro, currently in P11 with a 1 minute 4.6, which is pretty far off any soft tire users, let alone the medium tire users. But look at this man then. The man who still has some hopes for a title here, but he needs to hurry up because he hasn't been able to close the gap just yet. He's very quick, but not very lucky this season. And 1 minute 3.661 on the mediums. Yes, Lovell, that is the only proper word to describe that lap. It's very, very quick. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him start on those tires, in fact. Cotters then slotting his car on second place. The new Williams driver now in a second place with a 1 minute 4.040. Only 6 milliseconds quicker than Guillen on the soft tires. So, normally I would say they use the medium tires to get themselves to save a set of softs. But I can honestly see Alexander and maybe even Cotters and Domi sitting in the top 10 on those tires. Lutra slotting himself into second place there with a 1 minute 3.9. And while the man is quick, he isn't as quick as oh dear me, there's an Alpine almost standing still on track there, which is a bit scary to be honest. But he isn't as quick as Alexander was on the mediums, which is, wow, that's just an insane lap then. Must have been. Wildy then choosing the medium tires, and there then Dijkserv comes in with a 1 minute 3.8. Very interestingly, none of them have been able to beat Alexander to provisional pole on a faster compound of tires. So that's definitely an OP lap, yes, there, McBlurk. That's also another proper description. Purple then for Ludek Lexmol in the second sector. Will he then be able to beat the 1 minute 3.6? He will be the first to do so on the soft tires. Round the final 2 corners he comes. Let's see what he can do then. Coming onto the main straight, still within the lines, which is very nice. This track is harsh on track limits. No, he isn't able to beat. He's only in P9. Not nearly quick enough. I don't know how Alexander managed to do the lap, but nobody is able to tip it so far. Let's switch to Wildy. No, he's already invalidated the lap. He's also on the mediums. He thinks he can put in a mighty performance as well. We know he can do it. We saw him going very fast last week in Great Britain, despite all the chaos with the desync stuff going on. So he will, I think, go for another attempt. There's still over 10 minutes remaining, so plenty of time to give it a go on these tires. Now trying to start and create a gap as there's a Haas right ahead of him, getting ready for another hot lap attempt. I think it's either Axel or Aro. It is actually Aro who is just ahead of him. Let's see what both of these drivers can do. Switching back and forth a little bit as the Ferrari of Crampy is slowing down. He's sitting in second place at the moment. Gone very quick with a 1 minute 3.8. So let's see then. Aro's first sector is a 15.9 and Wildy will be coming at a 16.0. So at the moment Aro is quicker in the first sector. It's very close though. It's a matter of hundreds of seconds. Not like hundreds, but hundredths. You know, with the th, not the d. Otherwise it would be a bit scary. Hundreds of seconds would be a bit insane. Does look like Wiley is closing in sector 2 though. He's got a 44.5 and Aro unfortunately missed, but he's got already an invalidation to his name, so that's his attempt over then. He's currently sitting in last and immediately I think is going for another attempt. Wiley then coming in to set his mark on the board. What will it be? It's a 1 minute 3.9. Another very quick lap there on the mediums. A well done lap for him. Slotting himself well into the top 10. It's Aro standing reverse on the track after going for a second attempt. He's ruined it. Some cars are coming out of the pit lane. They are slowing down to make sure they don't crash into the Haas there. And there's a tiny bit of chaos starting to form over here. As I think Psycho's actually on a hot lap, but he's already invalidated. Might have been caught out by the spun around Haas of Aro there. So he's going to have to try again. Let's see who else is on a hot lap. Remco is already coming in, and he's also put a mighty lap on the medium tires at 1 minute 3.7. I honestly think the medium tire is the tire to beat tonight. Look at that. They are going to be in a massive advantage if they manage to claim a high position in the top 10. Liectra now on a fresh attempt, this time on the soft tires with a 1 minute 3.9 standing. You would almost say the mediums are faster than the softs, yes, at the moment, which is unusual to say the least. Liectra then 39 milliseconds faster in the first sector. He's gonna have to try and prove those medium tire users wrong, that the softs are faster, and he should be able to do so. He's only 2.5 tenths-ish off from provisional pole. All he needs to do now is go that much time faster. He's now over 1/10 quicker, so he's looking to be on course to set that provisional pole lap. Remco is starting to switch to the soft tires as well. Crumpy's gonna try again on the softs. But let's see what Liectra can do, the fresh man in the Aston Martin. And here he comes then, round the final corner, over the line he goes, and it's going to be not enough! It's not enough! It's still not good enough! He's slotting himself onto the front row, but it isn't provisional pole position. Wow! And Alexander was just chilling around in his box. He sees everyone throwing all they've got at the time of Alexander. And nobody so far has succeeded, which is insane. Crampy then, can he do it? He's going for a second attempt on the soft tires. He's already set a lap on those red ones. 33 milliseconds in the first sector. He needs 1.5 tenths to claim, 2.5 tenths in fact, to claim a provisional pole there. So can he do it then? Will he be the one to beat Alexander to provisional pole? I think Alexander will wait to come out until he gets beaten to provisional pole and then maybe change up his strategy, but he's in a very comfortable position, as is Deekserve. Whoa, a bit of a wobbly moment there. 1.5 tenths quicker now. He needs to find another tenth though. And he needs to find it quick with only 2 proper corners to go here. He needs to be absolutely mighty, going very wide. For some reason not invalidating the lap there, neither on the final corner. But it is enough to claim pole position. At least provisional for now. It's a 1 minute 3.5, but he did leave the track. Which raises some questions for sure. Now here's something I like to see. Cutters with a 1 minute 4 round 000. I like to see that. I'm a fan of numbers, and this is one of the reasons why. If you manage to slot in a 1 minute 4.000 exactly, then consider me impressed, despite it only being enough for P10 at the moment. Sanogo then going even quicker, and now it might be the good time for Alexander to come out again. He's still hanging in P3. Oh dearie me, what on earth is going on here? Sanogo having a bit of a scrap here with Ludex AlphaTauri. I'm not entirely sure if he was on a hot lap or not. He might have been. And either way, he's got himself invalidated there. So that's his attempt gone. He's getting overtaken by one of the Red Bulls. It's Wisp's Red Bull, who's slowing down again. Yes, it was rainy indeed, the legend, yesterday, so we cannot compare it, unfortunately. But Wisp, the championship leader, is only P16. Red Bull is not looking very good at the moment. Why are they racing, by the way? It's interesting that these nearest rivals in the championship are having a go at one another. Sanagoat is right behind him. Psycho is actually passing them. No, it's actually Domi. Scratch that. He is on a proper hot lap attempt, coming around the final corners, nearly 3/10 quicker. That will be 1 minute 3.7 or 6-ish. 7 then, slotting himself into P6 for the time being. And Alexander moving down to P4, still in the pit lane on the softs at the moment. But I think it's more interesting to see what the fastest, there we go, the best lap was, to see what tire they will be starting on. I quite like that graphic more than their most recent used tire, or the tire that they've got under their car. Yesterday's race, it was hysterical. That's the only proper word I could find. It was very good. It was also quite chaotic near the end. A lot of things happened. Many spins in the rain, in qualifying especially. And turn 10 has eaten so many people yesterday. Let's see if that will happen today as well. Make sure to watch it back. It's very entertaining. I completely jinxed the team as well. Somebody needs to make a compilation of Frostbreath jinxing everybody for X minutes or something like that. That would be funny. Whoa! There's Axel then in his reserve Haas, going for a hot lap while it's incredibly crowded on the track. So it's hard to find a proper slot to get yourself ready to race. Let's see how Wisp is doing, still on his outlap. Big Turbina has slowed down. I think he might actually give his teammate a tow. He's also sitting only P18, but that lap was on the medium tires though. Donny has finally come in. There he is, very late to the party, but better late than never. The second full-time Mercedes driver is in and ready to rumble. Looks like he had a bit of a laggy situation going on there. It's going to be hard to get a proper lap in here though. There's only 2 minutes remaining, so he might be able to do maybe 2 if he's quick. But he's gonna have to do it in pretty much 1 proper chance, that's for sure. It's absolute chaos everywhere on track. We see several yellow flags, both AlphaTauris going slow at the moment over here. It's pretty hard to find out who is on a hot lap and where exactly they are. Eruption is actually just starting his attempt here. He's only P16 at the moment, the reserve driver for Aston Martin there, still looking for a much needed improvement, but more importantly, can Wisp do that? He needs to find, well, only 0.6 of a second really, to claim himself the provisional pole here in Austria. I said he's the qualifying beast, but he needs to prove himself here. 16.063, not very quick, 1/10 slower already in the first sector. So not looking good then for the championship leader. He will probably be not too pleased to set a lap that low on the grid, now that the grid has been filled up. Crampy now going fastest overall with a 1:03.505. Wildy, there he is then. That's the pace I was talking about, a 3.4. Alexander now in 5th place and invalidating his lap. He's got no more time to get round again and set another lap time, so he will have to hope for the best on those mediums. Now going down to P6 as Cutter slots himself in the second Williams on the second row. So it's 2 Ferraris and 2 Williams on the first 2 rows at the moment. Psycho then, can he spoil that party of 2 teams on the first 2 rows? 46 milliseconds in sector 1. Sanagot retiring, oh dear, out of turn 1 actually. Deary me, that's not looking very good. The first crash on track. We see another car standing still. That's actually Reepe's car. There he is. He's going the wrong way, in fact. And he has been disqualified. Uh-oh. Will he lose his position then? I can't remember if he loses the position from that. Yes, he does lose the position, so he will start last. Uh-oh. Oh, another car going the wrong way. For some reason, everybody decides to go the wrong way as Psycho goes purple in the middle sector. So then, as I said, can he spoil the party as he lags himself round the final 2 corners onto the main straight? A slow-going Alfa Romeo over there, a slow-going Alpine pretty much in the corner of the track. No, he can't go faster than any of the cars ahead of him. Alexander then, he's actually managed to get himself round on track. Will he go and stay on the mediums, or does he want the track position over strategy here? Let's see what he does. Big Turbina cannot improve. Wisp is only 14th fastest. Big Turbina only P16, a big dent in the powerhouse that is Red Bull Racing here in Tier 2. It's not looking good for them. 59 milliseconds extra there in terms of extra speed and lap time is what Alexander Johansson has on the soft tires. He needs to find more if he wants to improve there. Oh, and he's lost it. He's absolutely lost it into P7. That is where he is, and that is where he will stay. And immediately he just decides to cut himself into the pit lane because it's not really of much use to go back further. Medium tires though in P7 and another set of medium tires in P9 by Remco. So very, very, very impressive. The first attempt of Alexander resulted in net P7 without any track evolution and not even on the softest compound. So he will be in a good spot despite it being P7. I think he wanted to go higher on the soft tires. For some reason one of the Alfa Romeos is now coming out. Why is that? Timer is already done and Deep Serve decided to go out. There we are then. For show, I guess, because his helmet is fancy or something. Either way, that's the end of qualifying. Some impressive results here. Wiley then claiming pole position in the Ferrari. It's a Ferrari 1-2, which is very cool. With Williams 3-4, and more interestingly as well, well spotted there, Ghazi. It's a McLaren 5-6. So it's three teams on the first 3 rows. Alexander then in the mediums in P7, Liechtra in his new Aston Martin in 8th, Remco only in P9. The championship contenders are not doing great tonight, except for Sanagoat, who's up in P4. But look at this. Wisp down to 14th. And then Reapy, because of disqualification, starting stone dead last. Donny wasn't able to set a lap time there, so he'll be starting from 19th, but he will be present. We have some RO fans, and he will need the cheering on, because he needs to score those points. Yeah, that's a good point indeed, the legend. Also, hi Shadrin, welcome to the stream, good to see you there. Strategy then is rather straightforward here around Austria. It's soft to medium or medium to soft. And I think medium to soft, we saw it yesterday, is working a bit better than vice versa. But of course the top 10 doesn't really have a choice. The lucky ones who don't have a choice are Remco and Alexander, who will start on those mediums regardless, because that's the tire they must start on, interestingly. And that's the first this season. The first 2 users, at least in tier 2 from what I know, that start on the mediums in the top 10. Will Pole Sitter Wiley take his victory here? Please use your channel points to make a prediction here. So, let's have a little look at those tires. Where will everybody start on? We will of course not see any hard tires, because that's generally not a good idea. And so, for the first time, I can see 2 Ferraris here at the front, 2 Williams and 2 McLarens, which is really cool to see. I like that a lot. And Reapy then starting in last due to going the other way. We saw one of the Aston Martins doing the same, but not long enough for the game to consider that a disqualification. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, it's going to be hard for the yes people to catch up to the nopes, because 100,000 channel points have been spent on no. Wiley will not win the race, despite him being fastest in qualifying. He's got Crampy right behind him, and I think for the team's sake, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Wiley will make room for Crampy. But of course, if he's a true racer, he will fight Crampy until the last possible lap, and everything of course can happen. We saw it yesterday, Bito, so well said there. It is Austria, as Ferraris are ghosting through one another, going themselves to get ready to go onto the grid. Williams doing the same, just having a bit of a ghostly fun. McLaren just, well, it's an Alpine going right through them. It's a Psycho for some reason falling behind. And Polypunk, in fact, being in a hurry. Just missing out of the top 10 there, the second Alpine driver is. He's still 5th in the driver standings. He needs to score good points tonight if he wants to have any hope of staying within the top 5. As the grid is readying themselves. Look at this, a beautiful view here from the helicopter. With a full grid in tier 2. So that is always good to see. Now, all we need to wait for is the lights to go on, and there we are then. The moment has come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice red lights, and we are on our way. Looks like a good start for both Ferraris, a good start for both Williams. McLaren, though, already having a struggle there with Liuk Trials. He already moves, tries at least to move up a position, but he gets caught out, and that allows Alexander to move back into 7th. And for some reason, we see a big Red Bull shunt there as Big Turbina and Aro at the back of the grid have been, at least Big Turbina, pushed onto the grass, and immediately they've fallen behind the rest. Oh no, it's disaster between both McLarens, and one of the Williams is spinning out as well. It's Sano Goat, one of the championship contenders, falling out of the points down to 19th, and now last place, in fact, is going to be too wide into turn 4 between Domi and Alexander. Alexander, though, backing out, already up to 5th on the mediums. He's going nuts, this man. Lectra trying to stay into P6 as Psycho tries to fight himself back up to the positions there, but he's struggling a lot. He started somewhere P5, P6, but he's already lost several positions now as he's trying to do everything he can to stay within contention in the top 10 there. Remco, oh my goodness! As I said, he was fighting, he smashes into the wall. It's already chaos everywhere here in Tier 2. The things are going on left, right, center, upside down, and wherever you look, it is absolute chaos in the first lap. Several drivers getting caught out. I'm not sure if that is desync or not, but it might have been just fighting there. Cotter's going very wide in turn 1, trying to stay with the Ferraris, but it looks like Ferrari teamwork kept them both in a safe position. But it is Crampy now going to try and take the lead from his teammate. No, he's slowing in right behind him there, but he's showing him that he does have the pace and is ready to snatch the lead from the reserve Ferrari. As Kane isn't present here. Domi then trying to keep, Alexander is trying to keep up as well, and is succeeding quite easily, in fact, on the harder tires here. The softs are still pretty much in their primes, and the mediums still need to get into their own, but look at the pace he's got at the moment. Already made up several positions. Speaking of positions, let's see how many positions some drivers have made up. Look at Wisp. Made up 6 positions since the race start, from P40 now up to P8, well within the top 10 already. And both of his nearest contenders are behind him at the moment, so that is good news then for the men in the Red Bull. Whew, a bit of a breather then. We see some other people making up plenty of places as well. Crampy now setting the fastest lap of the race. The top 3 only has remained unchanged, and Crampy is looking everywhere he can to show Wiley at least that he is ready to strike, and he is going for it immediately. There he goes, then having a lot more pace than Wiley has. Into the lead he goes, defending the position there, in hopefully for him that Wiley wasn't going to try it around the outside, but this time though the other Ferrari will have DRS, but it looks like for now the Ferrari of Wiley is going to stay behind Crampy's. Some teamwork might be coming in handy here to elevate themselves away from the only Williams remaining within the top 10. Cottas there, Stinghill hanging around in P3. Domi trying to stay with them. Alexander piling on the pressure on the medium tires there in 5th at the moment. Liuktra staying with them. Psycho now hanging around stably in 7th. Oh dear me, for some reason Domi's fallen down a position. Something must have happened there. We just missed out on that action there. And somehow, not really sure what the case was there, but it looks like Domi might be in some sort of trouble here. He's already getting pressurized by the Aston Martin of Liuktra, getting held up there. The Aston Martin is, he'd like to get past, as Domi will not have DRS in the next corner if he's unlucky, because he's just outside of 1 second, and he will not have DRS, which will allow Liuktra to attack for real this time. Look at this, here he comes. He's gonna have to try. He's hanging back for now, at least. The other Aston Martin is spinning out, and look at that. Domi's having no more battery either, so that's bad news there for the first McLaren. Psycho now connecting to his teammate once again, but Liuktra not really past that much yet, as he was ahead in the DRS detection zone, which allowed Domi to get to pick up the DRS. And Psycho also going for the attack, trying to take the 6th place back from Liuktra. And now it's McLaren's, both of them back up in P5 and 6. But Liuktra isn't giving up anytime soon, and somehow manages to reclaim the position there. He's back up in 6th place. And Wisp is actually liking this quite a lot, as he's able to close the gap. Aro is the first drive to get a penalty. He's far down in last place at the moment. No retirements on track just yet, which is good to see. Everybody is still going on. Let's go back to the top 4 though. Look at this, Alexander is now pressurizing Cottas for 3rd place on the mediums. Polypunk in the mediums now setting the fastest lap of the race already. The medium tire users are starting to come into their own. We're only 5 laps in. Big Turbina left the session, not looking good there. Falling out to P13 immediately thanks to their AI. When is the moment that Alexander will strike? Look at this then. Domi and Liechtra fighting still for 5th, and Liechtra still doing everything he can to get past. This time he does have the DRS after turn 3, and now he can go for a proper move at the inside, almost trying to go onto the grass as he has to fight hard to gain a position. Domi isn't giving an inch tonight, but he is forced to concede the position for the time being at least. Now Liechtra up into 5th place. Incredible racing so far from all of these guys on track. We see some groups forming. We see a group of the top 4, then P5 all the way down to P10 is the second group, and then there are some drivers separated quite a long way from one another. So these are the fights that we will be watching as the intervals are reappearing once again. It's Ferrari is still leading the race. Auro is already a lap down, so even if the safety car comes out, there's no more point in him getting back to the top 10 anytime soon, as he will have to concede positions to all of these drivers. So, to be fair, his race is pretty much done for. And he's already spun out into turn 3. Wow, this couldn't get much worse for him, could it? Alexander still chasing down Cottas there. Domi for now has to hang back behind Liechtra. Wisp is trying to look for an opening to strike on both McLarens. Polypunk hanging on as well in 9th place at the moment. Guion in P10 doing quite well there as well. Stable position for him. And look at Reapy. He's quite far behind the group in front of him. 4.6 seconds at the moment. But he has made up 9 places. As once again, Eruption, and now he's lost his front wing. Nearly he just slams his car into the wall trying to turn around. There's bits of front wing everywhere on track there at the moment. His race is getting a big hit there as well as he lets pass the other cars there. Doni then, the second car, to get a 3-second time penalty. He's trying to keep Big Turbina behind him. There's 1.5 seconds between both cars at the moment. But back to the front then. Crampy still leading the race, and look at that, Cottas had a little look. And that kind of compromises exit of the turn 3, which allows Alexander to put on a proper attack for real this time. And there he comes then, side by side, both of cars go. Who will come out best? Cottas has to defend from the outside. Alexander pushing him wide, trying to take the position from him. But they're still going side by side. Cottas will now have the inside line, but he has to yield. Otherwise they would have come together for sure. So that's a wise move there from the Williams driver. A good decision there to stay out of any potential crashing. Eruption has reached the pit lane. He's getting out soon, and if he isn't careful, he will be lapped momentarily by this very quick pack. Liechtra is towing the group there along to the front 4. He's only 1.4 seconds clear of them right now. Closing and closing. Oh no! Domi somehow lost it in turn 1. And that is disastrous there for the McLaren driver, as he was doing so well. And another crash there, and now he's lost his front wing. Used too much throttle with overheated tires, and that is what you get. Absolutely disastrous there. So that is one of the men in the second group now out of the points. And he's gonna have to limp back to the pit lane. It was going quite well for him actually there, but no longer. We're now starting to lose sight on the first group. It's back down, back up to 1.7 seconds. So he's trying all he can. He doesn't really want to tow the rest along. He wants to do it by himself, but the first 4 will have DRS, of course, so they can just tow one another along. Trying to increase the gap to Liechtra. Look at this. Cottas is starting to struggle to keep up, and Alexander is still going berserk. He'll probably be very happy he started on the mediums, as he's now about to take the lead from both Ferraris. He's gonna have a go on the first Ferrari. He has to back out quickly because while he attacked and defended at the same time very late, of course it's Whitey's right to attack, but in that occasion he also defended from Alexander, and he got caught off guard a little bit by that. That nearly went horribly wrong there for the Mercedes driver and the Ferrari driver at the same time, while he probably didn't see any attack coming there for Alexander. But look at that. Alexander is now trying to take it from the outside in turn 6. Can he do so though? It seems like he's already got more grip than Wildy has, and past he goes into second place. And now Crampy sees that Alexander has split both Ferraris, who led for 9 laps, 1-2. And now Alexander is up into second, and already Polypunk then taking the position from Psycho as he goes in the inside, probably for a pit stop there. The first man to go into the pit lane is Psycho, and Liuktra, oh no, has been taken a hit there somehow by another driver there, and he's falling down slowly but surely and steadily out of the points. He has to be careful there not to hit anybody on his way back onto the track, but that is bad news as Reapy now up into 8th, and look at that, Alexander, we just caught it on camera there, now goes into the lead of the race. It looks like now is the time for the medium tires to come up. Let's see who's still got those tires. Look at this. That means now Wisp will soon come into his own as well, as Polypunk is chasing him down. He's gonna have a little look. This is going to make Wisp's life a bit more difficult, trying to catch the field ahead of him, as he has to defend from Polypunk's charge there in P6 at the moment. The Alpine driver is there. It looks like, yeah, Liektra solo spinned there, so that's unfortunate. It's a very tricky corner to get right though, so not entirely strange. But look at this, Alexander now has a massive pace advantage over the rest. He's already 1.4 seconds clear pretty much. Uh-oh, I see a yellow flag. It's Wisp. Uh-oh, the championship leader. He spun out. Fighting with Polypunk, he lost the car. He was doing so well coming back, and he's decided to go for a very early pit stop for medium tires. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 2-stop with the anticipation of a safety car. Where does he go to? He does go to the softs, but I am not sure if he can last the distance. He needs a new front wing too, so that's the big reason he came in. Back to the head of the field though, looks like we might see another attack coming up here. Crampy has the DRS though, so that means he can defend easily. Cutters still hanging behind the both Ferraris there, as they have been relieved of their 1-2 position by Alexander, who's now 1.3 seconds clear. And he's doing quite well. And he will be going even faster when he puts on the soft tires, I'm sure. If he can stretch this long enough, of course. So far, though, very little penalties for the Austrian track. Only 5 drivers having a 3-second penalty at the moment. And Aro actually getting another 3, so that's a big rip. Look at this. Meanwhile, far back, Sanagot and Dijkstra fighting for position in P15 and 16. I am quite sure that Sanagot doesn't want this position whatsoever. But fortunately for him, Wisp is also outside of the points, and so is Remco. So the entire top 3 of the driver standings is nowhere near the points tonight, which is very unusual. Very, very unusual. It's a rare sight indeed, especially in this tier where the top 3 is actually incredibly quick, especially Wisp. But he's just having a very bad day. We saw that yesterday with Max O'Connor as well, not qualifying greatly and then falling down to P9 after leading the race because of a lot of penalties he had and a very, very, very late safety car, lap 34 out of 36. We have another yellow flag. Uh-oh, it's the other Williams. It's Cutters who spun out. Why are so many people spinning out in this corner? It's unreal. Now he's forced to go into the pit lane as well for a fresh set of tires. I don't think this was the undercut he wanted. It's definitely not going to be an undercut, as he spun out and lost a load of time there already. And now all he can do is come in and go for a fresh set and go long, very, very long. No new front wing though, so that is fortunate. Only a fresh set of tires, and he comes out in P10. If he's quick, that is. Least amount of corners. Yes, but almost all of them are dangerous. Well said there. Well said, Lovell. Yes. Look at this. Crampy. Oh, sorry, Wildy is piling on the pressure at Crampy. Now, the question is who will yield first in terms of a pit stop. Who will go in? First and foremost of both Ferraris. They are now clear of Cutter's threat. Let's see if is anybody going in here? No, they're still remaining out. They want to go as long as possible on this soft side, I think, to make the most of the medium tires later on in the race. Polypunk, though, is chasing them down as we speak. He's already up in 4th place, looking very, very strong. I would like to see him back on the podium sooner or later. Having a little look, sorry about this, by the way, at the latest standings. Polypunk has only won 1 race, which is all the way back in Saudi Arabia. And other than that, he finished in the top 5 only once more. Actually, yeah, in Portugal. So, he would like a podium. Yep, the Ferraris definitely have changed. Crampy is now up in 2nd place. They are trying to tow one another. I think there's some cooperation going on here. They're not fighting very hard, they're just staying close together at the moment. And it looks like Wiley's going to come in, judging by the pit icon. So I think then the man who started on pole gets the preferable strategy there. But he decides to stay out. And actually Crampy is going to come in. There he is. Crampy is coming into the pit lane for his one and only pit stop. So it's Crampy then going for the undercut on his teammate, trying to gain a bit of extra time there. Guillen had spun out there in the infamous corner by now, and also forced to come in the pit lane for a fresh set of tires. Crampy then will lose several positions, and the field is slowly but surely starting to spread out. We see here Psycho right behind Big Turbina, trying to gain the position from him. Big Turbina is still on the starter set of medium tires. Psycho is on a fresh set, so it's an easy breeze into P5 for Psycho there. It's looking here, the cars ahead of him have yet to pit. So he might just come out very close in the lead when those guys have made their one and only pit stop. But it will be 3 of them going onto the softs, so it'll be hard to defend his position once they are on the quicker tires. Uh-oh, I see another spin happening right on the camera. Donny fighting, I think it was Guillen there for a position. Both on fresher tires at the moment. Mercedes having a good day and a bad day at the same time. And there we have the 2nd Ferrari in right now. And look at this, Polypunk has lapped his teammate. Remco has been lapped. I never thought I would say that for the man hanging around in 3rd in the drivers. But yes, it's happened. He has been lapped. And I am honestly not entirely sure why on earth Aro hasn't retired from the race yet. Because this is just ridiculous, honestly. Just retire, man. This is futile, pointless, and just causing yellow flags unnecessarily. But, you know, everybody to his own. Look at this, Domi then fighting for a position he doesn't want to be in, but it is with somebody else who doesn't want to be in that position either. So he's now up into 16th ahead of Sanagoat, who is still on his first set of soft tires, is trying to stay and actually fighting back. He's having a thought about it, but he's not going for it, of course. Now let's see where the Ferraris are. There's a bit of a gap formed between them. Crampy, of course, going in first. Now created a bit of a gap to Wildy. And he's now chasing down Big Turbina, who's still on those 15-lap old tires. Futile. Well, it kind of is, let's be honest. Why would you drive around if all you do is spin out and being lapped every single lap, pretty much? It's just unnecessary. Sorry for being brutally honest. But Aro is just honestly wasting his time here. Either way, back to the racing at hand. Crampy is almost caught Big Turbina. Look at the difference in grip there out of turn 3. And I think it won't be long until he takes that position already side by side and easily ahead. Big Turbina knows it and he will not defend hard. Wildy is losing pace to his teammate, and it does show that when they are separated, I think Crampy has the pace advantage right now. Another spin then for Aro, but, you know, tell me something new. Bits, I thought there was an overtake there, but it's, oh dear, he just teleported behind Sanogoat, who just came out of the pit lane on a fresh set of medium tires. He does get the DRS though, from Eruption technically being ahead of him before the teleportation happened. So there's several drivers being very, very, very unlucky tonight. Surprisingly, there's quite a few large gaps here. There's two guys here being close together, but it's Gian who has overtaken Axel and already setting the fastest lap of the race as Ludek gets a 3-second time penalty. Hanging around in P9 at the moment. Deekserve coming in for his pit stop there for a fresh set of mediums. The big question, of course, is how quick will those three guys in the top three at the moment be? Oh dear, we have a safety car. It's two retirements at once. Eruption on the track and Doni in the pit lane. And that's a safety car, which is even better news for Alexander, Polypunk and Reapy. Look at this, the man who started last now gets the pit stop of his life. Two DNS in the same time. One of them caused the safety car due to the crash of Eruption. Already had a frustratingly bad day there, of course. And now it's going to be interesting. Of course they're going to come in. Psycho decides to stay out. Crampy, of course, as well, who's in a very fresh set of tires. Big Turbinas coming in as well. He's lucky too to get this pit stop pretty much gifted to himself. And Alexander retains the lead on a fresh set of soft tires. As Deekserve goes too fast and gets a drive-through, so that's very unfortunate for him. He was in P15, so not doing too great. Gian is gaining all the positions due to many drivers making pit stops. Look at that. Can he take the other position there from Reapy as well? Yes, he can. Reapy, very slow in the pit lane. I think he might have changed the front wing there. So a bit unlucky then, despite being lucky with the safety car. Crampy in a net P2. I'm afraid not. Psycho is still in between then, and I don't think Psycho is going to come in. But he does have a penalty, yes. That's a good point. Speeding in pit lane. Deekserve, what are you doing? He retires. Okay, fair enough. So let's have a little look now that the field is neutralized at the penalties that have been handed out. Only Aro's got more than 3. He's already got 9 seconds. Honestly, man, just... what are you doing? I think he's hoping that 7 more cars will retire, so he'll still finish in the top 10. Uh-oh. What's going on? Remco going slow. He knows he cannot regain positions anymore. I think we'll see him go into the pit lane and retire, because... no, he's staying out. He still wants to keep going. Well, the least I can say for him is that he isn't spinning out as much. Yeah, that's fair enough. No race with no force feedback is pretty much terrible. No pop-ups is also bad. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Remco is just letting everybody past. Look at that. So, the status is as follows. The championship leader is down in 13th. His 2 nearest rivals are behind him in P15 and 16. Remco has been lapped, in fact, by him. Sanogoat is lucky to not have been lapped, and he will soon lap the man who is behind him. Frankly. How long do the softs last? Well, they can last until the end of the race if they are careful from now on. They just have to nurse those tires home. Yeah, they last 16, 17 laps-ish. And fortunately for them, they have at least 1 more lap under safety car conditions. Yeah, we saw that level happening with the Ferraris versus Alexander's Mercedes. He just overtook them at around lap 10 and 11. Both of them were just cake, toast, whatever. This dude, no chance. So what do you know? Aro and Remco 1 lap down on the leader at the moment. They will fight for position. I don't think there will be much of a fight, as we've seen that Remco's got a lot more pace than Aro, so at least he'll try. And I can commend him for that, for both of them. We're just waiting for the field to get ready to get going on their way again. Psycho's got a 3-second penalty, so that means Crampy and Wildy are currently up in the podium places. Polypunk is very close as well. And he's got a much faster tire there. But you will have to make sure he can keep the advantage on that faster tire. He's like going wild on the engine there, burning some fuel. He doesn't want to be over-fueled because that will slow him down as well. And increase tire wear. And the heavier your car is, the worse the tire wear is. I think the current Red Bull team in real life can talk about that one. A heavy car resulting in bad tire wear. We saw it in Australia. Safety car coming in this lap. Never give up, yeah. Never give up. So then, Alexander leading the field. They are all pretty much caught up. 2 of them being a lap down, that is. It's going to be tough for them to get back into the points anytime soon. Unless a lot of people ahead of them crash. That's a fair point, yes, Bito. So let's see when Alexander gets going. He's waiting very... Oh my god, they shouldn't have done that! Well, that was a bit of a dangerous move there. I'm not entirely sure if that was intentional or just a mistake. But he nearly lost his lead there on the restart. But his sudden slowdown and speed up caught Psycho off guard. And now he might be in trouble with Crampy's charge there. But I think the biggest charge will be coming from Polypunk. He needs to make the most of those soft tires in the first few laps. He needs to get past the 3 cars ahead of him as soon as he possibly can to have any chance of potentially winning the race. But Alexander is already starting to pull a gap between himself and the rest of the field. Look at this then. Domi is having a fight. Look at this. There's so many fights going on in the midfield. It's Ludek versus Liuktra there. Soft versus medium. Oh no, it's gone all wrong for both cars. They're both out of the race. It's disaster as they try to take one another. Now they take one another out. They're in the middle of the track. And we see Sanogod getting victimized by that as well. And for some astounding reason, there's no safety car for two cars on the track. In the middle of the track. And there's no safety. Why not? Why is there no safety car? Look at that. This is dangerous. Wiz thankfully was able to avoid them, but look how far behind he is already. The championship leader is in nowhere. It's just nowhere. Wow. That was a bit of a scary moment there. Look at this then. Crampy now is getting ready to attack Psycho. Tries to go around the outside. Psycho defending well there. Polypunk having a look. Cutters trying to come back after his disastrous spin. Trying to take the potential undercut there. Now he's back up in 7th. So back into the points. But look at Reapy from 20th. Now up into P8 and on the faster tire at the moment at least. Yeah, that's a good point, Henners. But it was a bit weird to see. Codemasters might have to take a look at that. Because, you know, normally that would be an easy second safety car in a row. But there's some very, very close fighting going on, and the DRS going online very soon. Polypunk is impatiently waiting behind the Wiley's Ferrari. Yeah, there probably should have been left a bit more of space between Ludek and Liuktra. We caught it on camera, so we saw some action there, that's for sure. Look at this though. Ian is very close behind the soft tires of Polypunk there. Of course, he's got the issue that there's a DRS train ahead of him. He's having a look, but he's not going for a dive. Connors is no. Oh my god, and that results in a touch and go on several cars. More chaos here in turn 3 as Polypunk gets victimized. He was absolutely innocent there as Cutter's gone for a move that was never going to work, and that is a safety car there. He bumped himself, I think, into some other cars ahead of him, and then Polypunk was the bad and innocent victim on that. I think that is what happened at least. Maybe I saw it wrong, but from what I saw, Colors was going for a move which wasn't really going to work and therefore somehow punted several other cars, and Polypunk coming off very, very badly without a front wing. He's now driving around. Fortunately for him, there is a safety car, so that at least saves his grace. Many cars are forced to come in due to that accident. Gian, of course, has been involved in the accident as well. Psycho decides to come in for a fresh set of tires. His mediums are in not that great of a shape at the moment there. Alexander coming in as well for a fresh set of soft tires. He makes the most of that extra pit stop there. Crampy decided not to come in, is now leading the race. Reapy now up from 8th to 2nd place with relatively okay soft tires. Cutters the same. He's got no damage, so I'm now starting to doubt whether it was Cutters who punted them, because he would have gotten damage for sure. So there might have been something else going on there. It's so unfortunate that you can't do any replays or something while spectating, because I would have loved to see what happened there. Might have been Gian as well, because he does have front wing. He did have front wing damage actually. He's now down to 8th. Polypunk still in 9th, hanging around there. But the podium is starting to look very unlikely for him. Thank you for the raid, Leoctra. So sorry to see you crash out there. But welcome, Leoctra fans, to the stream. We saw the crash happen between your driver and Ludek, which was very unfortunate. Either way, this is the situation. Wisp is luckiest of all. He was driving around pretty much nowhere in P13. And now he's suddenly up to P7. He probably cannot believe his luck tonight. But he does have a 3-second penalty. Psycho has 6 seconds already. Aro's got 12 now. But I am still astounded by how very little people have penalties at the moment. Psycho and Wisp going side by side there. Having a bit of a parade going on there. How can you hate this track? That's amazing. But then again, oh my god, Psycho, why are you doing that? That is just not necessary, man. I know you're trying to weave and show Wisp that you're ready to fight, but my goodness, you nearly lost the car there. That was dangerous. Oh wow. Finally touched grass. Well, he's got a green helmet, that's one thing. Alexander left a little bit of a gap according to the interval there. But that's definitely not the case. Safety car in this lap then. For some reason, they think Alexander is 2 seconds away. Oh, there's a Haas in between them. I see, that makes sense. And there's also an Alpine in between them. So that's why he's got 2 seconds of a gap to the next car. That's really unfortunate. He decided to come in for a fresh set. And now he has to hope that Remco and Aro are going to move out of his way as quick as they both can. Because they're fighting for a position as well. But they don't want to be in the way of the charging man that is Alexander. He's going to have to do it all over again with about 10 laps remaining from now on. He's got 4 cars to overtake to regain the lead. All of them are on used tires. Crampy's on the worst tires at the moment. He's on the hardest and the oldest. So while he's in the lead, I'm not sure if he can retain it, but the restart has just happened, and already he has to defend from Repeat there, but it looks like he's pulled a decent enough gap to make sure that defense will remain safe. Alexander then still stuck behind the 2 lapped cars. He needs to get past them as soon as he possibly can, otherwise that strategy will have been for absolutely nothing. Aro then is starting to get ready, I think, to move out of the way. Look at that, Remco's having some pace, keeping up with the leaders who are a lap up on him at the moment. And Aro is still not moving out of the way. Finally he does into turn 3 on a bit of an unconventional place to do so. And look at that, Remco is about to unlap himself. Never give up is the proper say. And look at this, Repeat then challenging Cramping for the lead on the fresher and currently faster soft tires. So far not very successful just yet. And Wildy now has to take a hold of Remco's charge there as well, because he's faster. Believe it or not, the lapped car there is faster, and he wants to unlap himself badly, and that is costing Wildy a lot of time. And now he has to deal with Alexander's charge there, coming up from behind. On his 10 lap all mediums there, Wildy now has to defend from the freshest tires on the field there. Psycho right behind that as well. And look at this, the infinitely more grip there for Alexander, resulting in a great exit out of the final corner, but he has to back out into turn 1 because that was not going to work just yet. So he needs to wait, I think, until he gets a good exit, and maybe wait even for a DRS, but he needs to hurry up. He doesn't have a lot of time if he wants to win the race still. Carlos then chasing down Repeat chasing down Crampy, and there he goes, and Alexander into P4. overtaking wildly there into turn 3. Psycho trying to pounce on the situation as well. Wisp still behind them in P7. Remco has lost positions there. He's now down to still in 14th place. Actually, Aro has lost all those places as well, as he had to give them up due to the blue flag. So that's a compromising position for him there. Look at this, Gian up in 8th place. Sanagot is almost back into the points despite almost being lapped a few laps earlier. Now he's fighting with Domi for P11. They're still going side by side in turns 7 and 8. Wow, that's some tight racing there, but it looks like it's still being clean. Domi, who had been spun round, who was fighting for potentially a podium position, but at least top 5. And now he's fighting for no point with Sanagot there. One of the rivals of Wisp, and Wisp, oh dear, it's Crampy getting a penalty there. He's gone a bit too wide, and that's 3 seconds added to his race time there at the end of the lap. At the end of the race. Cotter's having a look, Alexander's having a look. He tries to take both of them. He wanted to go on the inside, but now he's forced to go around the outside. It's a spin! Oh no, it's a big disaster there as Reapy loses his car, and then he takes both Alexander and Cutters out of the race. Alexander multi have damage, but this is a safety car actually. That might be a saving race there. But the big question is, does Alexander have damage to his Mercedes? And will Cutters have damage? I think Cutters has come off very badly as he smashed into the side of Reapy's car there. Reapy's race might be over as well, because he will likely have sidepod damage, at least due to that interesting crash there. Pushed a bit too hard on the throttle, lost the car, and Cutters became the victim as well as Alexander. So what will happen now? Let's see. Yeah, Alexander is coming in. His front wing is not healthy anymore, so that will put a big dent to his victory aspirations. And I'm surprised, astounded in fact, to see that Wildy and Krempy are still staying out with men behind them on much faster tires. But of course, that is track position. I think they would have lost more position than they would have wanted, because many more people stay out. So they will have to define hard. It's once again Ferrari in P1 and 2. As this is almost how the race started, as Wiley was in pole position, so the prediction might still come true. He's currently in a net P1 because he's the only one in the top 5 without a penalty, and look at that. Wisp up to P5. How does he do that every single time? It's unbelievable. His nearest rival is in P9, so he will once again gain some extra points on both of them. Open lobbies are less chaotic than this. Yeah, you would almost say that. And Wisp is telling Gian to hurry up. He's just driving side by side with him there. Safety car will not stay out for too long this time, so the rest has to hurry up. And Wisp especially is very impatient, ready to get going. His tires are slightly older than the soft tires around him, so that might play a part in that as well. Polypunk, without a penalty as well, might be in a very good position for a podium place still, after the disaster that happened with him and Gian and some other car. I completely forgot who it was. He's back into 6th though. This track turns leagues into open lobbies. Yeah, yesterday the final stage was very chaotic as well. And I think that's a bit of a thing of this track. A late safety car will cause a lot of chaos because it's a short lap. After this there will only be 5 laps remaining, so we might potentially see even more chaos. And we saw a safety car yesterday as late as lap 34. He came in the very same lap he came out. So it might just not be over yet. 5 retirements in Tier 2 at the moment. Remco is last. Both him and Aro are a lap down. They're driving somewhere in this group. Axel is right behind Polypunk in 7th, so the other Haas, a bit further down the field, is Aro's. Unfortunately for Haas, Axel will not score points for them. Safety car in this lap, and Crampy now leading the field for the final charge, hopefully the final restart of this race, and both Ferraris will have to hold off an entire horde of fresh soft tires. It's going to be tough for both of them. I keep saying Wildly for some reason. Wildy has the big advantage here of having no penalties. And with a few laps remaining, that might be good news for him. He will not have to fight his teammate hard. Unless, of course, he's quicker. But I think Crampy still has that pace advantage. Is he already going for it? Yes, he's already going. Crampy is ready to get underway. Catching his teammate a bit of guard there, but getting a few bad exits out of the final two corners, allowing Wildy close back up again. But it is Psycho who isn't yet able to keep up with the better grip though out of the final corner. Is gaining a bit more there. Gian is trying to stay with him. Wisp has been caught off guard, especially there. He's nearly lost all the way down to a second of a gap as Polypunk tries to stay with him. Sanogo then is well up in the points and trying to chase down his nearest rival Wisp, who's only 3 places up on him now. All he has to do is get past those 2 cars that are in between himself and Wisp. So the charge is on then for the Williams over here. We've got Axel and Polypunk in between himself and Wisp there, as you can see right in front of him. He needs to close the gap though. Axel is knocking on Polypunk's door here to claim P6, telling him to just please hurry up. And Wisp, surprisingly, doesn't really have the pace tonight. He isn't able to keep up with the front 4, as they are, especially the front 2, are struggling on those old medium tires now. They are no longer really up to much speed. And I think it's a matter of time until we see a first overtake there. Aro then crashing out. And a virtual safety car. Thank God for a moment I thought there was going to be another safety car there. But the race is neutralized for a little while longer here. Aro now out of the race, making 6 retirements. And only Remco being the man who's a lap down. Oh dear. What's going on here? It's Domi making some donuts. And oh no, it's Alexander, he's out! What's happened? It's a safety car! No, God, you're kidding me! There he is, he's in the wall in the main straight. How has that happened? Did he get caught out by Domi's donut driving car? That is very confusing. What has happened? And the bigger question is this good or bad news for Crampy? Because at least he will be able to retain the lead for a bit longer. He was gonna win. Yeah, he already had a gap of over a second to Wildy. And now the race is neutralized again. So Wildy is still having the best cards. Polypunk is looking ever better for another podium there. He might potentially claim P3 or maybe even P2 if he can get the hurry up. Wisp is now up to 4th after overtaking Gian, who's now down to P5. But he will get pushed down a bit further due to the men behind him having no penalties. And look at this, Psycho having 6 seconds. Gian as well. Sanogo, Big Turbina, and Reapy might make a jump in positions too, as the safety car is come out here lap 33 and will most likely come in at the end of this lap. He will probably not wait for Domi. So that makes 7 retirements. We need to teach you how to say it. It's Gian. Is it not Gian? Is it Gian? What is it then? Is it Gian? I will say Gian, if that's the correct pronunciation. So teach me, Lovell. Is it Gian? Please confirm. Or unconfirm if I'm wrong again. Is it maybe Gian? Oh, Jan. Oh yeah, I'm the worst at Spanish. But the French way, like Jean, well, Jean is the French way of saying it. So I will say Jean, if that's okay. I'm getting taller leveling languages here tonight, like there's no tomorrow. The J, John. Okay, John. John, it sounds very Italian, if I'm honest. John. Can put in my Italian accent as well, if you like. Probably not a good idea though, that will be cringy. Sorry, I didn't want to annoy anybody. So John, I will say John from now on. Thank you for correcting me. Feel free to correct me, by the way, if I say any names wrong. Just saying. Oh dear. Restart has already happened and Crampy hasn't got the best restart he has, and that means that Wiley can put on the chart Psycho as well. Wu will go for a move with only 2 laps remaining of racing, and thankfully that all went well. There will be no DRS anymore in this race in those final 2 laps, as it only comes online 3 laps after the race restart. That will not happen, of course. Psycho now has to make a mighty move on both Ferraris, but he doesn't get a chance as the Ferraris are defending their position by attacking one another, which is an interesting tactic. Immediately Wisp tries to pounce on it as well. So yeah, that's where we are standing currently. Now look at this then, it's 4 cars fighting for the lead of the race at the moment, but only one of them will most likely win it. It is Wildy still having the best cars there. They are looking good, and it's another retirement. It's Sanogo out of the race. Uh-oh. Polypunk lost his front wing. It's probably both of them who came together. Sanogoat is out, and that is a big bad news there for him, as he will lose even more points. Polypunk now without a front wing. Pretty much no points for him on the board anymore. That allows Domi to get a point. Remco spinning out there, but he's a lap down, so that really doesn't make much of a difference there. And now the final lap has started. Who will make the big daring move? Polypunk was looking so good for a podium place, but that is all gone, thrown out of the window. And yes, the stewards are going to have a field day. They already have a field day for tier 3, let alone tier 2. Who will be the bravest to make a move? Wildy just has to take it easy. Just need to make sure he doesn't get a penalty. Did I see a spin there? No, I saw that wrong. Axel now up into P6. Had a little look at Jean. Cotters then up in 7th at the moment. Reapy in 8th, but he has got no penalties. If he can keep it close enough to the rest of the field, he might make a big jump in positions. But I think... Oh, Psycho having a little last moment look there at Wildy's car. But there's no more chances, I'm afraid, unless Wildy spins out at the infamous turn 9-10 straight. That short straight that comes up right now. So it is then Crampy going to come on to the finish line as the first man, but it is going to be Wildy to win the race. Let's see who comes home second then. I think we can say, yes, it is a Ferrari 1-2 tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen. Reapy coming home third. And that's the big jump he would have liked to see. That's a massive jump. He's the final podium sitter, so well done to him. Wow. That was one heck of a race. And the prediction, ladies and gentlemen, has come true. Who put the 100,000 points into no? Because you're absolutely wrong. Look at this. Wiley has won it. Crampy came home second. Reapy in third. He'll be happy. Look at this. Definitely a driver of the day. From 20th to 3rd on the grid, which is absolutely insane. We saw something like that as well in Tier 3 yesterday, where Back Row claimed second, starting 17th. Wisp then coming home in 4th. He almost got a podium there. His fellow Swede Axel in 5th, Cotters in P6, Psycho in 7th, Gian in 8th. Sorry, I've been saying it again. I need to get used to his new name. John in 8th, Big Turbina in 9th, Domi in 10th, claiming the final point there on the board after Polypunk lost his front wing. He'll be very angry. Remco outside of the points in 12th, and there's a load of DNFs coming up here. All the way down from Sanogoat up until Eruption, the first DNF. Whew. Okay. John has left the session. I'm already practicing. You hear that? I'm already practicing on his name. Whoa, man. Wow. That was another chaotic final few laps. Both tiers definitely living up to the expectations of chaos. Loads and loads of chaos. Let's see who's up for an interview after this much has happened. Podium interview available. It has been said, and so far only one is in the interview room at the moment. Reapy joining us as well, but first and foremost, let's join us here with Crampy tonight here. First and foremost, congratulations for the team there. That is a Ferrari 1-2, despite Wiley being a reserve driver. Must feel pretty good, I think, or did you hope to actually win the race tonight, Crampy?
Well, I mean, the race was interesting over the last 15 laps with the safety cars, and after every safety car, it was just trying to minimise the amount of positions I would lose because of my penalty. But yeah, the amount of people instants behind happening, and I managed to stay clear of the crashes. But the one penalty cost me the win. But it was a good race for Ferrari. Yeah.
It was definitely good, yes. You were pipped to pole position by Wildy there, and then there was an interesting race going on between both of you. Were you fighting each other hard? Because I think I saw some teamwork going on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like talking with him obviously, but we pretty much knew between ourselves that we were not going for anything stupid, and we were staying behind if the move wasn't really on, and kind of letting the other person through to not hold each other up if the opportunity came around.
Yeah, we saw that happen, so good job to you. It looks like you're finally getting into your groove. You had a very rough start to the season, losing a lot of points. How do you look onto the driver standings at the moment? Where do you think you will finish by the end of the season?
I have no clue. Obviously, I missed the first half of the season, so...
That too, yes.
That's a bit far behind the people near the front, so I'm just gonna try and do the best I can and try.
Well, it's the last few results, a P5, a P4, and now a P2. So if your trend keeps going like that, we'll see you win in France next week. Is that a bold prediction?
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
All right. Well, enjoy your second place here. It was a very good race to watch from our perspective by you. So well done, and we'll see you next week in France.
Thank you.
Cheers. The second man to join us is the man who came home in third place, Reapy. Wow, what a race for you. You were disqualified in qualification, starting stone dead last. But here you are. Are you just as surprised as we are?
Oh, really surprised. I mean, I'm still shaking. And qualifying was, I think, a bit of a mess. I spun in the last corner and had to wait outside the track for other cars to pass, and yeah, then I was disqualified.
Yeah, you were in P14 or something at the moment before you were disqualified, so it already wasn't looking that great. Were you hoping for a higher position, or was that as much as you could give at that moment?
Well, to be honest, qualifying is not my strong suit. I tried to qualify as high as possible, obviously, but yeah. I mean, it worked out in the end.
Yeah, then came the race. So much happened. You were driving around in pretty much any possible position. You were near the lead at some point, then you were back down to 8th. You had no penalties, and here you are. So how was that for you, this race?
I mean, I knew from the start that if I keep it clean, and stick to my strategy, that I can be up there, because I practiced Austria a little bit to get no penalties at all, and we saw it yesterday in T3 that it can help to get no penalties here. It helped me today, and it was a bit unfortunate when I got spun out. I don't know what happened there. I have to look at it again. I don't know, I think Kodos hit me from behind. I don't know if he got hit from behind. It was a bit of a mess there. But I got fortunate again. The safety car came out again, and I could close the gap again.
I was actually worried you had some side pod damage, but you probably didn't get any damage there. Yeah, that's very lucky actually. So this is your first podium of the season. Can we expect more podiums from you then? I'm just curious.
Oh, I don't think so. I will get my wheel next week, so I probably will be dead last.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. We will see. It was fun.
It was definitely fun and also very interesting. It will be a good heap of points for you, though. So then, let's see what you can do next week with your wheel. Hopefully you'll be able to get up to speed quickly to be able to drive around for some more great finishes. So once again, congratulations. Well done to you. Enjoy your P3 and good luck getting used to your wheel.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye. Alright, my good friends in chat, that will be it for tonight. It has been a mighty interesting race from our point of view at least. I don't think every driver will be very happy with the results. The FIA will have a load of investigation to do with not only Tier 3 but now Tier 2 as well. So that has set a certain standard for the remaining tiers coming up. In a few hours time you will see the American Tier 2 racing in Austria as well. Tomorrow, same time, same place, will be Tier 1 with, well, not with me, but with hopefully with Psycho and Bito, as they are the commentators for Tier 1. And then a few hours after that we will finish off the MRL Racing League week in Austria with the American Tier 1. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Definitely hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for completely butchering John's name. And have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I will see you next week on the French track. Have a great day.